What if I told you the institution you believe exists to heal people actually requires you to doubt yourself before it can operate? You were born a natural healer, are not defects. These are automatic biological responses to harm. They are the signals your body sends without asking permission from anyone, a baseline of empathy and survival that you carry naturally. A system cannot monetize an independent mind. It cannot bill for the self-trust and instincts you already own. The institutional machine faced a massive financial problem. It could not build a multi-billion-dollar industry on a population that trusted its own internal signals. The solution emerged when the exact same financial class that built the architecture of American money began funding the institutions that study human behavior. They needed a population trained to accept the terms of their environment without resistance. The system solved its profit problem by teaching you that your instincts were unreliable. It taught you that your natural reactions required pharmaceutical interpretation before they were valid. This process did not heal anyone. It systematically replaced your internal authority with institutional authority, charging you access to what you already possessed. This was a targeted theft. It was the capture of the final territory necessary for a control system to run completely without visible chains, the human mind. In 1851, a New Orleans physician named Samuel Cartwright identified a mental disorder specific to enslaved Black people. He called it drapetomania, the compulsive desire to flee captivity. He took the most natural signal a human being can produce, the refusal to cooperate with their own destruction, and documented it as a disease of the mind to give violent control a professional costume. The Soviet Union applied the exact same logic a century later. They systematically diagnosed political dissidents with sluggish schizophrenia, claiming that a stubborn will to argue and persistent disagreement with the state were clinical evidence of mental illness. The American state ran a parallel operation. The CIA launched Project MKUltra to run psychological conditioning experiments on unconsenting citizens, explicitly designed to break the mind's resistance and produce highly controllable responses. Every diagnostic system built inside institutional power carries the same temptation. When a natural human signal threatens a powerful extraction system, the system neutralizes the threat by officially labeling the resistance as a medical defect. This chart illustrates the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, expanding from 106 initial diagnoses to over 300. The people who wrote the modern editions had direct, documented financial relationships with pharmaceutical companies. Every new expansion in the manual created a permanent billing pathway for behavior that had no prior clinical name. The modern public school system acts as the primary laboratory for this compliance. A child whose natural curiosity makes them resist rigid obedience is handed a 15-minute pediatric evaluation and given an ADHD diagnosis. The machine secures this process through projection. It uses clinical language to isolate questioners and shut down dissent before any actual debate can happen. The labels act as linguistic cages. Refusal becomes non-compliant. Disagreement becomes extremist. Institutional restriction is packaged as safety, reframing independence as pathology. The modern bureaucracy does not have to manage every dissenter from the top down. It actively trains the population to assume these labels are true and to clinically police each other. Today, this psychological machinery operates through algorithms running 24 hours a day in your pocket. These platforms are optimized to manufacture permanent internal hostility. The algorithm chooses escalation because escalation drives social division, and division drives engagement. This engineered societal fracture runs legally parallel to the 2012 modification of the Smith-Mundt Act, which removed the legal prohibition on the federal government deploying psychological warfare tools against American citizens. This reveals the financial reality. A divided, self-policing society generates extreme distress, fueling a $600 billion mental health market. The conflict is the purpose. Continuous instability creates permanent institutional dependency, guaranteeing endless prescriptions and recurring billing cycles. The real rebellion is refusing to perform brokenness for the institution. Survival depends on refusing to live in the wound. The diagnosis never actually described your suffering. It described how far your natural signals had drifted from what the machine required. You were never the patient. You were the territory.